edition of this very interesting one. With of course a couple of things that we should be talking about right there, but of course the man by himself, Benson, has a lot that of course he has gotten into the team, as of course a lot is happening now. Big guest happens to be that is of Arua Hill Sports Club's president that they have announced just newly right there today, and one of the presidents that they have gotten into the team. So a lot of things that we shall be talking about right there. Benson, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Zaga. Good afternoon, the viewers. I hope you had a brilliant weekend.
Yeah, it was a nice weekend. Probably a lot expected things to be coming through right there, and I really can't expect maybe something big to change. But all in all, yes, it was a nice weekend.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of things happened in the world of sports. Cricket cranes, as we talk right now today, they have already departed for the real business that will be taking place in Namibia. And the local here within the region of West Nile, of course, West Nile Regional League match day 3 concludes yesterday, and also the West Nile province this time has got their opponents in the semi-finals. They will be facing their brothers, whereas their sisters, that's Lango province. And also the European Champions qualifiers international has reached at the 10th stage, whereby some teams, of course, this time needs a miracle to qualify, but others have already sealed the qualification. That means they will only be honoring the fixtures, whereas teams like England, you talk about Italy. So we are waiting to see, and this ongoing international break seems to be a bad one for some of the players. Together with their clubs, players continue to sustain injuries, and the transfer rumors also continues to happen, but we will be following it systematically, starting with what happened over the weekend in the regional league.
A lot of things that probably came through, and yeah, we didn't see regional league games being played, and probably somebody will be asking what exactly they in the regional league. Of course, a couple of actions that took place starting from the week, and one of the biggest that we talked about was the game between Nebi Central and the team of Arua City. A game that of course I watched and ended 1-1 in favor of, that is, the two sides. And nobody got it right, but of course Arua City that got the goal in the second half, scored first. Later on, of course, we did see also Paida equalizing through a brush from, that is a super header, in fact, from Elio, who scored in there. But all in all, Saturday we had a depth analysis about this now. Of course, we said, like to me, I said Arua City had the upper hand, but of course I would want to see them go further, but you would see probably them get for a draw, and in case the things don't go all well, but they were the upper side. Yes, indeed, they played, had a lot of games that played very well. First half was dominated by them, though they were a little bit squeezed in the second half. By that is Nebi Central, and something that of course everyone would be asking itself about what exactly came through right there. So this makes them of course a little bit challenging, and they still keep a very good momentum of keeping still a clean sheet of not losing. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. They still so close to the table, and that makes them still retain the position they were in right there. But maybe I think there's still a lot of creativity lacking into the team, and that's one thing for now I would love to say about maybe. Did you expect that?
I expected it, because the only thing which helped in Nebi Central in that game is because it was the prestigious moments they have had in the previous seasons. Otherwise, you look at the team of Arua City, you compare it with the Nebi Central of these days. Arua City, I remember Saturday you said is much better than the team of Nebi Central, and you can even see this one out of the games they have so far played. Nebi Central, out of the 3 games they have played, I think they have only managed 1 win, and in the other games they have been actually dropping points. And I've been thinking over the night, this might not be the season again for the team of Nebi Central, because twice, the last 2 seasons, they have actually been going to the playoffs, and God has already given their chance, which of course they failed to utilize very well. And I won't be surprised if this time the chance will go to some of the teams like Paida Black Angels, that is flourishing so well, Arua City, that's doing so well. This time, if Paida, not Paida, rather Nebi Central is not very, very careful. We may not see the gods again going into their hands. This time, I am expecting the other teams this time maintaining the log as far as Nyagaki Zone is concerned. Arua City enjoying the status of being within the city of West Nile region, the greatest city we have in the region. I think they deserve to be like that. The only thing they need to do is actually, the season has just started. We cannot judge them right now. Matthias, the journey has already started. We will see everything in the ways they are going to perform in the upcoming seasons. Otherwise, the 3 games they have so far played prove that they are actually one of the teams that are going to prove so hard to the rest of the teams.
Okay, that's one of the biggest things that we could be expecting from Arua City. But of course, Arua City also, I saw their game and they had the loopholes here and there. One of them is the game that they played. Yes, they had a good display, but of course couldn't hold the ball for quite a long time. Arua City looks to be a team that is so much of playing a tiki-taka way that they want to play, but something that of course did not go with them right there. At the same time, I want to say that Arua City needed only one thing to say that they get themselves right there, because if you look at how potentially the team started, you would see that they had chances that they couldn't convert. So it showed you what exactly the team is about to do, and I think that's one thing that lacked into the team of Arua City, because if only they got in there would be a good one. But general transfers coming, the primary transfer, I think if they can add into their upfront, because they lacked paciness or the speed up front, it would be of importance. And then if they would also add into the creativity into the midfield, it would be one of the biggest things that you could be seeing Arua City pushing in through. And then you look at the team of Arua City still, the backline. If the Undupara KFC's Ndifuna, who is playing under double licensing, couldn't feature, maybe the backline would be a little bit porous, because the commander and the experience that he brought from the Uganda Premier League to the big league, now bring it up to the regional league, shows you what exactly he made in there. He had a lot of aerial balls that he headed off, he cleared the way, and that is one thing that you should be saying that Arua City was. The defense line looked good, yes. Then Arua City, I think, lacked crosses. The deliveries were not there, which are maybe overpowered, because Nebi had everything. They could swing the balls, they could make deliveries. Even the goal that came in there was through a set piece, which was of course a good goal for them to see that they leveled matters. They were a little bit hard with the team, but Arua City is still playing under the interim coach. That means they don't have a coach. Nebi is coached by former Arua City Football Club coach, that is Mr. Olema Hamza. So it gives you that of course this is a player, or this is a coach who knows the team very well and is trying to push and adjust here and there. Remember the man by the names of the one currently at Arua, no, Uganda, by the United, by then was the team of, the coach of the team of Nebi Central. He did his part, and Ogusi Abraham, now he has tried his level best, and probably he's also one name who has been phased off of the drum team, and then is replaced by, that is one of Rothomio, one of the names who has been Romchan Villa, who has also got into the team. So you will just see that things keep changing here, but the coaches need to always put what exactly it deserves, because the games were so interesting.
It's true.
I saw the tension of the game. I saw complaints that came through the officiation of the games. I think also to the to the rightful people who allocate these referees. I would request them to really put referees basing on their current state. Okay, I'm saying what am I talking about? I'm talking about putting referees according to what they can manage, the turns of the game. You may allocate a referee knowing that maybe it's because this and that. But I want to say some games are really too heavy for some referees, because
it's true.
It costs very many, and it costs very many people not to get into the best of the game. So it is one thing that I want to say about these teams, and I think with time, the regional league is getting competitive, and that is one thing I would love to say before maybe we get to more over the games. But of course, elsewhere we did also see games being played. And one of the game was the game which was played yesterday before we get to other games, where Leah and of course Alpha Rising played against Paida at Barokoro Stadium. A game that ended 1-goal today in favor of that is Paida Black Angels, and which of course is not the best for that is the team of course Alpha Rising Stars, who thought they had hopes of getting into the next level. But now, with that, let's look at how exactly this makes them, because Paida Black Angel now slides to second because of goal difference, because they're still keeping a good record, and of course have 4 goals. But of course the team ahead of them is the Pakwachii Youngsters, who also won. Still straight 3 games unbeaten, and they are doing their. Alpha is not well positioned at number 8. Of course, just points on the name that separates them, otherwise they would be at relegation. How bad is that for a team like Alpha?
Alpha, they have very much ambition to see that they cross the line to FUFA Big League, and that one cannot come easily. And I know I've been saying this one, and you look at the weight of the games they've played. The first game, I think it was a defeat on them before, on their side, before they had to console themselves with a win over Pakwachii Super Eagles. This time losing into the hands of Paida Black Angels, I think something so embarrassing, because you look at the Paida Black Angels alone, this is a team which has got everything, the history, everything is behind the club. I think losing only by 1-0 is not all that a shocking result, because me, I will say that they have tried, but what matters most is were you able to pick a draw as the 3 points. But all the bragging rights went to the team of Paida Black Angels. You look at their position, you have already mentioned the position, so alarming, being a new team into the league. As I said, ambition is too much, and for the Black Angels team, I think they are trying to get what they wanted to get this season. The season has just started, and they are doing so well, maintaining 100% record of the new season. And speaking something, if I may still take us back maybe in 30 seconds, talking about the weaknesses of Ruiru City Football Club, I think you have already mentioned them. It's upon the technical team together with the players to fix those problems. And at the same time, the game type you mentioned, they are trying to believe in tic-tac kind of football. I think that is the game type for most of the coaches, the teams, they desire so much. But in Africa, I will say that the type of football that will make a team to propel so well is actually the gang football, as the free-flowing football. Much as people continue to desire tic-tac kind of football, but you may play that kind of football. Do you have the speed in it? What I know in Africa, we believe in the speed of the game you play. Those are the things, of course, they will have to fix if they will want to still perform very well. About the Paida Black Angels game with Alpha, in summary, I think Alpha still have got something they are lacking in their team. They need to work upon. If they will still want to put the consistency in picking the 3 points against their opponents. But to Paida Black Angels, it's not a surprising result to me, because I know them, the level of preparation they have been putting before the start of the new season.
Okay, now it's a very tough, interesting game that probably could be saying right there. And there was also a game that was played on Saturday, Araka beating, of course, Yumbe Heroes. This lifts Araka, still the ambition and hopes. Just like said, they looked an upper hand because that was where they play at home, and yeah, it really gave them a chance to make sure. But a tough quarters between Odramachako and Kochi Urban, of course, of Lucy Investments. This couldn't really go out hand, and it ended 0-0.
Yeah, I saw it coming. I saw Odramachako Sendu this time putting something against the team of Kochi Urban at Boda View Arena, because I remember...
They play at Divine.
Divine. I remember last season, I gave my prediction based on what these two teams had last season. They were going neck to neck till Kochi Urban had to proceed to the playoffs. After that last game they played against the team of Araka, much as people gave the win for the team of Kochi Urban, Odramachako proved most of the people wrong, that they can also this time be able to do something. Just like in Ebisendo, this might not be their season. Much as based on how they performed last season, people still rally behind them as one of the contenders to go again for the playoffs. But you look at teams like you have already mentioned, the Raka, you talk about Tipsa, that is coming from nowhere, now controlling the table, and also you talk about teams like Odamatako Central. This might not be their point again. I know so many people continue to talk about Coach Urban just because of how they performed last season, but the way I'm seeing, for Nebi Central, twice already they have failed, and Coach Urban, it was the God on their side. This time, I am sure it may not be the time for them.
All right, it's a very big one, Coach. They tried level best last season, of course, trying to push things their way, and couldn't really work the way they thought after they claimed they were robbed, but of course walked out of the pitch as something that is not really best in football. And according to the federation rules and regulations, that is not really a key factor in that. So it's one thing that affected them, which made them, of course, lose the sport into the FUFA Big League to Young Elephants, who are also poorly doing into that is the Bet Power FUFA Big League. Now, leaving that there, Koboko Rising Stars did also beat Yumbe Hospital by 1-0 on Saturday, as Pakwach Young Stars, the table toppers in the Nyagak zone, beat Nyahama by 3-0. Bad one for Nyahama, they haven't gotten any win, and that raises eyebrows.
Yeah, it's true. You take a look at all these newly promoted sides. I think apart from Total and the team of, apart from Total and Alpha, it has been a challenging moments for most of the newly promoted sides from the both zones, Nyagak and Nile zone. You look at Nile zone, teams like Yumbe Heroes, they are all sleeping in the relegation zone. And on the other side, Nyagak zone, it's too much. So many of them, Nyahama, Zeus Central, they are only controlling the tail of the table. That means they have something to do. At least all of them, of course, they will have to prove something to the West Nilers that they actually came to the league to do something. But if that is the way how the result is continuing on their side, I won't be surprised if 70 or 80% of them, of course, will be going into the relegation zone. But the season has just started. Much as I continue to say, repeat myself like that, but the table has already started taking a step. But unfortunately, ironically, you look at the teams in the relegation zone, majority of them are the newly promoted sides. Nyahama, they will have to do something. You talk about Zeru, they will have to wake up. Total, you talk about Yumbe Heroes, Yumbe Hospital. The work is into their hands to do something for their fans.
All right, it's a very big thing that is happening right there. Paida United is also 2-0 winners. That was against Zeus Central, whom you just talked about. I think a good run also for Paida right there. Now, Pajobi had beaten Kuluva on Friday. We talked about that game. But yesterday, Sunday, we did see Barakala Obike City losing to Total FC, the new entrants into the league, who also thought that they are going to be a hard side. And indeed, they gotten a win away from home to BK City.
Yeah, Barakala City, one of the biggest side coming from Yumbe DFA, and Total, I think it has relieved the pressure on them. I think it has differentiated them from the rest of the teams. I think it's only Total and Alpha Rising Stars, if we may take a look, a list of the newly promoted sides that are at least sitting out of the relegation zone. Total, everything is there, money is there. I think it's the right time for them to start performing very well. I think being away from home and putting that result is a convincing one, because the last two had not ended very well on their side.
A trip to Tipsa's home was not a good one for Jumani Town Council after they lost the game 1-0 by, of course, to Tipsa Football Club. And this is one of the biggest that is St. Charles Luanga, I think, playgrounds, which of course did not go well. With the team of Adjumani, will they bounce back is the biggest question every other person is asking.
It's true, that is the biggest question. I think they have already lost the respect. I know most of the teams we are going to accord for them, because being new from the FUFA Big League, I know most of the people, they had that fear factor for the team of Adjumani Town Council, but they are not performing as the way people expected them to perform, and losing into the hands of the team Tipsa. And I think some few seconds ago I said Tipsa, this time they are flourishing very well, and they are actually controlling the the table, I know most of the people didn't expect them to have sit on top of the table because the noise has been all behind teams like BK City, Odamachakwa, Araka, and Coach Urban, but they have proved most of the people wrong that they can be able to do it. But winning against Adjumant Town Council is not a surprising thing because once the form is there, the players can be able to have that collective effort. You always see the result flourishing. I think the ball is now into the hands of Adjumant Town Council. They will need to wake up from that sleeping and start performing very well because they are fresh from a league that is much weighter than the league they are currently playing in.
Pakwachii Young Stars, we talked about them, but of course this time around it's all about Pakwachii Super Eagles, who also had a good winning momentum, 2-1 against Padea Rising. That is one game that went on. And we did also see the Black Angels beating Alpha Rising Stars by a goal to 0. Now let's look at the table standings of the different zones right there. That is the Nile zone. You did see Tips are leading the table with 9, of course, after getting a clean win. And then you have Coach Urban against, of course, that is number 2 with 7 points after that draw. MTC, Fichel, of course, getting 6 in Moyo. Odamachakwa at number 4 with 5 points. Koboko Rising at number 5. Yes, at number 5. Odamachakwa is at number 4 with 5 points. And Total at number 6 with 4 points. As Araka at number 8 with 4 points. Yumbe Hospital 2 points. Adjumant Town Council 2 points. Nyai has no point, and the team of Yumbe Heroes also has not yet gotten any point right there. Whereas in the Nyagak, you have Pakwachii Youngsters leading with 9 possible after the 3 games. 3 games and 9 collected points for the Black Angels. At number 2, goal difference separates them because they have 4 goals and 5 has the team of Pakwachii Youngsters. Then you have a team Arua City after getting, of course, their draw. They have 7 points at number 3, and Paida United at number 4 with 6 points. As number 5 as Pakwachii Super Eagles with 6 points. Nebi Central at number 6 with 4 points. Number 7 is Pajobi with 4 points. Alpha Rising at number 8 with 3 points. Padea at with 3 points. And number 9, Nyahama with 1 point. At number 10, and Zewu and Akuluva, that is 11, 10 respectively with no point, and that is a bad one. Now, focus turns to how the games are going, and normally, regional league does not sound like a big league where you win one and jump, but regional league here shows you what exactly how teams are going. You have a challenge as Arua City and Arua District that anytime Kuluva gets out of this league, you could be without a club. In that is the regional league as a district of Arua District. Now for the city council, anytime Arua City gets off, they may only remain with Leah, or in case Leah also is relegated, you will not have any other club. I don't know whether I'm correct or wrong, but
it's true, it's true.
That is how exactly it is. Football in the city, in the district of Arua is dying.
It's true.
What is the problem? Because Kuluva is not doing well.
Yeah, the problem keeps on mounting each and every season. Right now, we have only 3 clubs, one from Arua DFA and one from 2 from Arua City, Alpha and Arua City. Just like you have said, I want to repeat your words. In case all of them gets relegated, because anything can happen. In last season, we saw the team of Otoko United getting relegated. And in most of the countries all over the world, you will see normal when they talk about a city like this, even let me narrow it to the regions we have in the country. Let me talk about the biggest city, that's Kampala City, who is the mother city to all the cities we have in the country. You look at the number of countries coming from Kampala City, not countries, rather number of clubs coming from Kampala City. There are so many actually. The amount and the other clubs coming from the different parts of the country. You look at the number of clubs coming from Bale City, you may talk about Jinza, you talk about Gulu. Why is it that Arua City, is it because, so I'm also asking myself, is it because it's still a teenage city, because the city has only lasted for 2 years, but it's all upon them to now engage into the world of sports, into the world of that's football. That's what I can say particularly. if they can be, the work is now into the hands of the teams that are coming from 5th Division League, 4th Division League, because currently there is no miracle gamble that can now be taken to promote a team from 5th Division League, a team that is playing in the 4th Division League straight to the regional league. The teams, of course, will have to struggle a lot to see that actually they make that viable as they control the city status in the region. The ball is into their hands because there is no another miracle. The body of football is going to say that since this is the city, we need to pick clubs from 4th Division League. From 4th Division League, we promote them. No, it cannot happen like that. So it's all upon them to struggle and see that the increase on the number of the clubs we have from the Rue DFA and also from the city.
As I talk right now, the City Council Authority has held the replica jerseys of Rue City Football Club, which of course is supposed to be in the market right now. But of course, some department hasn't been working, I think, so they are not in there. But of course, maybe that's where you could be getting revenue for the club, because the club seems to be struggling right there. But I think also our sports officers are not doing enough in the city and the district, because you can't say you can't provide. How comes these other districts are doing well? What about our DFS? How are they doing?
It's true, that is the point.
It is one thing that is also letting down, because if the Greater Nebi region is doing great in numbers, in fact others even more numbers come. Arua City has a lot of clubs here. What could be the biggest?
Yeah, Owen, it depends on who are these people behind the administration. You know, there are some people who are just coming into this administration because of money. And there are some people who are real football fans. Once they engage themselves into the activity of the administration, into the activity of football, you always see each and every time they're yearning to see that the department of football performs very well. You always see them moving up and down. At least they promote clubs from 5th to 4th to regional league, and it continues like that. It circulates. But there are some administrators who will only be coming there because they have already been nominated, they have been appointed for the purpose of money. And also the biggest of it is also, are you sporting football fans? These are also things you should be able to monitor, because you may spot me to administer something and I am not a fan of football. Even if there is one club in Western Regional League, even if the clubs are not doing so well, what I know is at the end of the month I am getting my salary, and at the end you ask this person about the footballing activities in the district, in the city, even in the region, the person cannot be able to mention, maybe will only mention 20% of it. So it's all upon I'm leaving the work into the hands of the people who are behind the administration to this time nominate, always appoint people who really understands the world of football.
I expected a lot, because I did see very many people, even the city game at Green Light. I expected more of the city people to be there, and they were not there. No fans in the pitch. It's only Nebi Central fans that were there. And Rua City had like 2 or 3, 4. So what causes fan base issues here and there? Could we say the marketing of Rua City has not reached to the level that is needed? Should we say there's something that is coming there? Because that is where you start knowing that this club is loved. And that is where you start getting your revenue. Now, how many times do Arua City make the revenue out of this?
And you talk about the money bit of it. I think Arua City Sports Club is having the money. And right now I am thinking maybe it is the superiority complexity, the other teams that are playing in the big tires, on the Paraka Football Club and the Arua Hill Sports Club, that maybe people are now thinking much about this.
But Arua Hill is not here now. It's that gives an upper hand for Arua City to think about doing a lot of massive marketing for this.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe, as I said, maybe right now people are thinking about on the Paraka and the Arua Hill Sports Club. They don't have that empathy, that thinking about the team of Arua Hill, not Arua Hill, rather Arua City Sports Club. You know, sometimes sometimes we say that big things, people always yearn for big things and they rally behind big things. Maybe now they think that Arua City Sports Club is a team that's playing in Western Regional League. Now we are following teams that have already played in the top tiers. Maybe that might be the mentality fans are possessing right now. I'm just thinking like that. Maybe some of them are having it the same way I have just said it.
Now, just imagine this is a club or a city club that is without a CEO right now, without a coach, and an interim coach is working. What do you expect? What do you expect anyway? Maybe some of the departments could be lacking, but the city has everything, just like you say. And if that is what they have, if they align, for me, I think if they can put, the question is, how much does the president of Arua City love football? How much time does he give to understand this?
It's true.
I remember people questioning, was this club formed politically? That was the first question, and everyone was like, okay. But I remember when the president said, of course the chairman of the club is Lumumusa, when he talked about the club, he was like, no, it's not a political thing, that's why it's there independently. But what about the patron? Because the patron of this, or the director of this team, is the mayor. The mayor has authority, and anything right there. I have questions for these people. Maybe one of these days I need to bring them in the studios and see what they will be telling us. But it's really so challenging because if they can assemble all this and align everything rightly, then you would say, okay, maybe this is it. Now that there were some issues here and there at the council, and the people, some of the members who were in this act had issues here and there. Of course, we had what happened. Now that they are back in the seats, are we going to see them get the team back to the normal? Because Arua City, to me, I see them having capability, possibility of getting into the playoffs, or even qualify to the playoffs this season. Because if you look at the current squad, you will see, yes, let them just get the best coach, probably to come in there, and then get, I don't know, a few things, and get in there.
You see, when the success of a club starts from the administrative room, you have already mentioned some of the key positions that are already missing in the team of Arua City. And maybe they just formed this club, as established this club, to sell the image of the brand of the city, that's Arua City. Otherwise, the football bit of it is not, I'm not seeing it in the club of Arua City. They are just doing it like that because they are like a mother. The rest of the DFS, they are under them. And the challenge of football, the entire sporting activity in the city started since the status was granted. Arua City, of course, have been facing a lot of challenges in sporting fraternity. And you look at Yumbe, that is currently leading in Western region. You look at teams from Greater Nebi region. So the way I'm seeing, if they are not going to sort out the administrative issues, still the problem will continue. And at the same time, if they will still go with that mind of saying that maybe they establish the club to only sell the image, the brand of the city, still the football bit of it may not come to success.
Here. One, get the right people to work for you. Two, get a strong marketing team for Arua City, which is very easier for them. Three, get a person who has knowledge about the football. Because one, the president loves football. Last season entirely, he even reached up to down deep his pocket to make sure that the football team proceeds. Now, this time around, how much is the council injecting in the team? Inject and allocate these funds to the rightful places. The city has anything, authority, and they are very easy to get partnership with any other person. They can get partnership of transport, meals, and the rest. Now, the little money, invest in the players, invest in the team, and make sure things work out. That's the only revenue. Sell your merchandise. The more Arua City kits are going to be out there, the more you're going to see people loving the kits, and it will be very easy for them. It took them around 2 years to make sure that these kits come. They're one of the organized regional league clubs that are getting kits, replicas, which are of course at high order. So those are some of the things, but of course I would love to talk more, but